What are some of the ways that before this, obviously when the presidents had both the House and the Senate, what are some ways that they've really tried to motivate people to onshore and get rid of offshore manufacturing?
One of the areas is providing FDII deduction. If you are exporting goods manufactured in the U.S., they would provide a FDII deduction for that. Other area would be immediate R&D expensing, which was available post like OB3. Prior to that, you had to do capitalization. So they provide more incentives to manufacture domestically.
So let me ask you a question. What you said the FDII deduction. What is the FDII deduction? Because obviously you're an international tax expert. I'm not, and probably a lot of the people listening to are not. So when you say there was a FDII deduction, kind of explain that.
The FDII deduction stands for Foreign Derived Intangible Income. So that's the income the U.S. companies earn by exporting goods offshore. So you can offshore export goods either in a company or a third party, but there are specific rules when you export them in a company, and you have to follow those. So when you export them, there's a deduction allowed by the U.S. government, which is around 37.5%. Mm-hmm. So it reduces your income by that rate.
So you mentioned with OB3, was that changed under OB3, or have Republicans changed that as they've been in power? What's the history behind that?
So prior to OB3, the FDII deduction was more complicated because you had to have interplay with the foreign tax credit, and there was expenses that were apportioned against the FDII deduction, such as R&D expense and trust expense. But OB3 limited the expenses that's going to be apportioned to the FDII deduction, which allows to take an easier deduction. And in addition, OB3 allowed for no Q-buy reverse, which is if you have property domestically, it was deducted against your FDII source income. But post OB3, you are no longer need to do that.